Hello and welcome back to Pokémon White version, where today we are going to get another gym badge. And also go through a forest and probably a cave. And we are still hunting a shiny Mewtwo on the side. Just making sure, yep, that sure is a party. So last time we went through the cold storage and now apparently they've got Team Plasma. Clay, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Getsis of Team Plasma. I've come to pick up my associates who are in your care. I don't need no thanks now. Your buddies were trying to steal some folks' Pokemon. What's this? It seems as if there's been some misunderstanding. We only free Pokemon from wicked people. Well, that sounds real nice if it's true. I may not talk purty, but at least I'm an honest man. You talk real nice, but what you're saying kinda sounds like lying. So tell me plain, what are you trying to say? Team Plasma also has an interest in Driftvale City. And we have many, many more members besides those who are here. Well, I can't tell if you're lying or not, but I reckon you've won this without a fight. Fine, take 'em and get. A decision worthy of a businessman called the Minor King. Your grasp of the situation is outstanding. Well then, we will be taking our colleagues off your hands. Gessis, thank you very much. Don't worry, my fellow servant of the king. We are two of the 7 sages, are we not? Well then, everyone, I expect that we will meet again somewhere. Sorry to let Team Plasma go after you tracked them down, fellas. Say, why don't we cheer ourselves up with a Pokemon battle? Don't keep me waiting. Well, we avoided a fight in the middle of the city anyway. Still, I can't help but think Getsis isn't just an ordinary person. I'm off to go make my Pokemon stronger. I really don't want to lose to that Clay guy. Actually, I'm going to win my gym badge in a flawless victory. Well, I'm going to go win my gym badge now. Welcome to the Driftvale Pokemon Gym. In this gym, elevators are provided for your use. Well, that's kind of them. I'm sure it was tough dealing with all that right after you arrived here. For now, I'll just give you this. The gym leader Clay uses ground-type Pokemon. Well, just between you and me, ground-type Pokemon aren't good against water-type attacks. Kinda makes me wonder why Clay is living next to water. Probably because everything needs water to live, and the ocean isn't going to attack his Pokemon. Then again, this gym is apparently built in a mine next to the ocean, so the real question is, how is it not flooded? Okay, Challenger, bring it on! So Palpitoad, admittedly, not the best thing for Duat. Outspeeding a Drillbur. I always think of Drillbur as being kind of fast, but I guess it's not evolved. Get on the elevators and go down and down. The trainer spirit means take it as far as you can. This gym would be so much shorter if this cone wasn't here or wasn't blocking our path. I face my Pokemon and we share our real feelings. Sometimes that's what I do in this Pokemon gym. Honestly, this gym could use more guardrails. Just seems like a very dangerous place to be in general. Kind of them to have it be a Moxie Crocorock. Of course, Water Pulse wouldn't care if it was Intimidate. Nice crit. When we lose, I apologize to my Pokemon. It is important for our future and it helps me grow strong. So where does this take me? Takes me next to 2 places that can take me back up. Hey there, Remy. I received intense training from Clay. No trainer around here is out of my league. Well, I'm glad that I taught my Duat Water Pulse. Having a special option is nice. And that should be the end of Palpitoad. Two Intimidates on this team. Shame for him. They aren't going to help. Clay is the gym leader and a company president, and he scolds me all the time. When the elevator goes up, my spirits rise. When the elevator goes down, my spirits fall. If you want to know why Clay is at the bottom, defeat me. Is it because he's known as the Miner King, and this is a mine? I feel like that might be related. Clay is waiting at the very bottom because he wants to remember that he was at the bottom in the past. How symbolic. Clay is at the bottom of the gym, but I will test you to see whether you are skilled enough to face the gym leader. Don't flinch. Ow! Don't crit again. I started Pokemon battles after I grew up, but I got so into it. I started Pokemon battles when I was a kid. But I never, like, actually got competitive about it until I was already in college. And even then, I'm barely competitive. I've gone to one VGC event and did not place well at all. And beyond there, like, yeah, I've hit Master Ball in one tier, or in one season of Pokemon Champions, the first season of it. But that was just because I wanted to see whether or not Pokemon Champions could be used to get the Master Ribbon, but nope, it can't. You can get the title for it on your Pokemon, but if you send them to a different game, they do not get the mark for it. Or the ribbon, or whatever the heck it is. So, it only applies in Pokemon Champions, which is very sad. And as always, we save before gym leaders, because that's just how it's done. Well, I think it's about time to see for myself what it is about your skills that made a gym leader like Alessa take such a shine to you. Swaggering, huh? And of course I hit myself. Why would I not? But if they're gonna give me the swagger, I might as well try a Razor Shell. And of course I hit myself again. This Croc didn't intimidate us. If I let it get this KO, it's gonna get Moxie. Love getting that full heal. Unfortunately, Lilligant isn't a great answer to Excadrill. But if we put it to sleep here, we'll be in great shape. We are in great shape. So now I'm going to go ahead and click Growth. So this is our guaranteed sleep turn. We are likely, but not guaranteed, to get one more. Alright. So the sleep turn after this is unlikely. It's... well, it's 50-50, isn't it? I'll be. Sure didn't see that coming. And it's awake. Using Rock Slide. Hopefully that won't get a flinch. Dang it. Okay, so... what are my options here? Krokorok would be an okay option. If nothing else, the Intimidate will at least tear away that Hone Claws. Though because of the Hone Claws, its Rock Slide is currently 100% accurate. Hey there, Nick. All right, Excadrill down. And it shouldn't be too difficult to get rid of whatever's left. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lilligant can outspeed and slurp that thing right up. Though, she can't do it on the switch-in, and given that her health is currently low, there'd be a bit of a risk. So we'll swap her in once Krokorok's down. So we just click Giga Drain to slurp that thing right up, and then battle is won. Nice unnecessary crit. And now we get to replace Growth. If we had already had Quiver Dance, oh boy, would we have been in a better position. Because then we would have been plus speed in addition to plus special attack. And we probably would have been able to outspeed the Excadrill. Well, I've had enough and just... I really wish they didn't auto-advance the post-battle text. I see. But I sure don't like it. For such a young'un, you have an imposing battle style. I know you got people who can dig up your potential. Here, take this. So, this is your 5th badge, huh? If that's so, Pokemon up to level 60 will obey you. Also, I'll give you this TM. Well, that was the plan, but I just remembered there's something I want. Wait in front of the cave at the end of Route 6, would you? Oh, so I gotta wait for my TM? Okay. And the traffic cone of impenetrability is now gone. Like, seriously, that mine should have been flooded. So close to this body of water. Forget what type of battle Heartbreaker Charles wants us to do in this game, but we'll go find out. There's no reason not to. I'm a Heartbreaker. My name, Charles. I wanted to get the attention of a girl I like, so I learned a new style of Pokemon battling. Its name? Triple Battle. Want to learn about it? In triple battles, you send out 3 Pokemon at a time in battle. The rules are simple. Just make all of your opponent's Pokemon faint. And that's a rough explanation of triple battles. I'm a Heartbreaker. My name, Charles. Hey, if you're a trainer, how about a triple battle? You've got a good attitude, don't you? I'm a Heartbreaker. My name, Charles. I'm always at full throttle. Okay, Darumaka is positioned very poorly, as is Duat. Look at him intimidating the entire party right off the rub. We can try digging here. Don't know how well it's gonna work. And then let's try and slurp up the fish. Yeah, no surprise Aqua Jet's going to Darumaka, who lived. Sparks is going to Duat, probably. Yep. Who also lived. Fish down. And Krokorok does not get to make a move. So Darumaka is now safely hidden. Duat is going to swap to Krokorok, who will not have to worry about anything. And then we're going to swap Lilligant for Archon because, hey, might as well get XP on Bird. A Crunch will probably do it from this range. And Darumaka is very much at risk. So let's go ahead and swap him out for Lilligant. She at least resists electric. And then, sure, Quick Guard. Why not? And there we go. Sheesh, that was embarrassing. Getting schooled when I was planning to teach. Still, you have potential. You have to understand your Pokemon to win in a triple battle. If you want more triple battles, you should go to Opelucid City. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten through Charles without losing a Pokemon. Oh, hi, Redmond. Hey, were you at the gym just now? Oh, hey, that's Driftvale's gym badge. Oh, that's totally cool. That's amazing. No, I can't get distracted being all impressed with your shiny new badge. I'm also a trainer. At times like this, you battle, right? Okay, so we're probably getting intimidated. Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and swap off of Duat. Just so that Duat's at full health for when, I guess it's gonna be a Pignite comes out. My Pokemon can take that, I'm sure. Well, probably. It can take its own move? I sure hope so. Oh, look at you with your Hyper Potion. Nice defense drop. Not that it matters unless she Hyper Potions again, which she does. Bianca, you really should have just let it go at that point. Alright, Croc is not the right Pokemon to deal with Pansage. I mean, a well-placed Crunch could probably do wonders, but... Still, let's get Darumaka some XP. Gotta get it to level 35 to evolve it anyway. And there's Pignite. Does Bianca's team not have a water type on it? I feel like it could use a water type. And Pignite's taking itself down. One more level and Solosis evolves. Gonna take quite a few Fury Cutters to get through this thing. So it's got Defense, Curl, and Lucky Chant. And Psybeam. This is kind of bad, right? I believe its last move would probably be Hypnosis. In which case it can't possibly do damage to Krokorok, but also Duat just beat it. Oh, I lost. I haven't had a Pokemon battle with you in a while, Redmond. You've become totally strong, huh? Yeah, I'm not the weakling I was the first time you battled me. I'm not that strong, so I don't know how to say it, but I think you're way tuned into how your Pokemon feel. Oh, you know what? I want to share this HM with you, Redmond. That's a good one. My papa gave it to me after he tried to take me home that time. I'm sure it's so I can come home anytime he wants, though. Oh, hey, I have to share this with Charon, too. See you, Redmond. Bye-bye. Well, let's go get our Pokemon fixed up again. If we can get into the Pokemon Center. There we go. I wanted to change which Pokemon I had in the lead. Because Duat no longer needs to hoard all the XP. We're going into a forest-ish region now. So Darumaka out front should do pretty well. What's up here? Cool, a ball I won't use. Alright, here on Route 6, what are we gonna meet? A Deerling. Do I plan to put Deerling or Sawsbuck on my party? No, and apparently Darumaka knew that. That was a rude crit, Darumaka. I was going to say having another grass option besides Lilligant that actually gets a little bit better coverage might be nice. But nope.
You are an interesting case. Please help me with my experiment.
Oh, an X-Defend, you say? Would have laughed if that jump kick missed.
When the wind blows, seeds fly. When seeds fly, flowers bloom. When the flowers bloom, we'll get seeds. Everything is connected.
But your team had nothing to do with any of that. Love getting an encounter just from turning rather than moving. Especially when it's just one 90-degree turn away from the last battle I had. Thanks, Hustle. Getting a Carablast would have been interesting. I've never used a Scavalier, but I'd be able to get one without too much trouble, because I do have another game to trade with that can easily get Shelmet. And yeah, Scavalier is interesting. I mean, it's Bug Steel. Steel-type Pokemon are generally pretty good. The Scavalier, if memory serves, has pretty decent attack and speed. At least it's faster than I... It's always faster than I expect it to be. Or am I misremembering? Let me look up its stats. Oh no, it's slow as heck. Speed 20. Whatever. Yeah, I know Excelgor is the fast one, but... I feel like I've been outsped by an Escavalier at one point. I don't remember what I was using, but I feel like I remember being outsped by an Escavalier. My Darumaka is getting so kicked by deer.
Pokemon with dry skin love water-type moves in rainy weather. I'm talking about the ability of these Pokemon, of course. We are totally in sync. Using our amazing connection, I will teach you all about Rangers.
Did not expect to see an Emolga. Hey there, Burning to Pig. Now that this thing's been double teaming, it's impossible to tell whether my misses are because of hustle or double team. Yeah, to Pig, I can't say that this was my childhood game. Mine was Red. But I can say Pokemon White does remain probably my favorite Pokemon game. I do believe that White 2 is the better game. But Pokemon White 1, I would call my favorite. Cool. This Emolga's now got, what, 4 or 5 double teams set up? Feel like that's enough. Just gotta get one more hit, and then this thing's done. Problem is getting that one more hit. And of course, static kicks in on the KO. Yeah, Tepig on the realizing we're old thing. Well, that didn't quite work. I've got some nieces who, yeah, they are kind of young. One of them's hit the double digits in age, but I have Pokemon in my Pokemon home that are more than 10 years older than my oldest niece. So yeah, it's a thing. Do you know much about this berry? Listen carefully. You may hear the sound of breathing Pokemon and plants. But do you hear the sound of me going to the Pokemon Center to get my monkey revived? Yeah, Tepig, things like that. They can definitely get you. But the good news is, even when you're feeling old, you'll still have the ability to talk with the youngs about things like... There are some things that can connect us all. And while, yes, you may have been enjoying those things for much longer than other people, like, all that really matters is we're all people, we all have things we like. Everyone can have fun and talk to one another. And being old brings the benefit of being able to share your experiences with the youngs. Like, hey, I'm 37 and I'm still playing Pokemon. My nieces are getting into Pokemon. They're just kids. Thrash... Yeah, it's strong, but you get locked into it. I think I'll keep Facade. Accidentally said to do the thing again. Give up on Thrash. Yeah, the thing is, if you and a young person are into the same thing, Being old is an advantage because then you will have so many more stories to tell. And when you're telling stories about something that a younger person is actually interested in, you get to see some delight in their eyes. It's great. Pouring rain, fighting Pokemon? And given that in my youth, I was pretty much the only one in my family who even cared about video games, I know the value of having someone older than you to talk to who actually cares about what you're interested in. Because I didn't have anyone like that. So yeah, it means a lot to have someone older than you to talk about the things you care about with. That is something that I know firsthand. I remember back when I would have complained about a lady having 2 temples. Now I've actually got an answer for them. They might as well just be little speed bumps. Yay, my Solosis gets to evolve now. On the subject of talking about Pokemon, it's time for an update on my Pokemon Legends Arceus Distortion Alphas hunt. I am down to needing exactly one more Distortion Alpha before I am done with Distortion Alphas and can progress my new file beyond Funny Sky mode. Rain is a wonderful melody that nature plays. And, yeah, I got unlucky. Surprise. And that lack of luck has made it so that my chances of getting the last one that I need are 1 in 4 on any given alpha spawn, which an alpha will spawn on average about once every 30 distortions. It's not great odds. Tepig, I actually, as far as the Discord goes, I set one up ages ago, but I haven't bothered to, like, make rules or publicize it or anything. I eventually want to do that. Eventually. I will research and investigate your Pokemon. Problem is, like, opening it up to the public without having moderation staff feels like a risk. And I don't want to have to be solely responsible for moderating and all that. I know you can't get moderators without having a community to begin with. But yeah, it's one of those things. Setting it up eventually might happen. But for now, I just play game. But I appreciate the subscription and the interest in the community. Yeah, that last Distortion Alpha I'm going for. I've been in the Fieldlands looking for the Johto Sneasels and whatnot. But, like...
Why don't you go discover something else?
So, the order in which I've gotten my alphas in the Fieldlands. I got a male Sneasel first. Great. Male Sneasel's great, because it means that there is a 100% chance that the next thing I find would be a useful alpha. And yep, I like having a 100% chance at getting something useful. Who doesn't, right? Let's actually use Duosion. We've never sent this thing out in battle before. I have no idea what type its hidden power is. So let's find out, maybe. We can find out if it's good against normal, I guess, because flying just got gone because of Roost. So now we know that normal doesn't resist this hidden power. Oh boy, that's such information. It's not Ghost. But yeah, after that male Sneasel, the next alpha I found was a female Weavile. Bit of an oof. Means that, because if I had found a female Sneasel, then I would have still had a 100% chance of my next alpha being usable. But no, I found a female Weavile, which means that all future female Weaviles are worthless to me. Unless they're shiny, in which case, hey, that would be pretty neat, but no. That's very unlikely. So, what do you think the next alpha I found after that female Weavile was? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't useful. I hit the 25% chance to get a repeat alpha that I couldn't use. It was the second female Weavile. Oh boy. So then after that, let's go over some odds again, because something I do like is calculating odds for things. It's just something I enjoy. I like seeing the odds. I like knowing what my odds are. Being able to compare to averages, etc., etc. It's fun to me. So, with a male Sneasel and a female Weavile, I've got a 75% chance that any future alpha is useful. Of that 75%, if I hit the 25% that is a female Sneasel, then that would doom me to a 50-50 shot at any future alpha being usable. If I hit a male Sneasel or a male Weavile, so 50% chance that my next alpha would only have a 25% chance of being usable, because at that point I would only need a female Sneasel. Yeah, I found a male Weavile next. So at that point, 4 alphas in, I was doomed to the 25% chance for my last one to be usable. Same position I was in for the fossils, up on Coronet. And up there, yeah, it took me a grand total of 9 alphas before I got all 4 of the alphas that I needed, so hooray. And here I am, 4 alphas in, and I'm in that same 1 in 4 shot.
Some Pokemon change their appearance depending on the season. Could that also be considered a type of evolution?
No, that's just a change in form.
The temperature and humidity inside the case next to me are controlled by a machine.
Oh, and you want to know what my next alpha after that male Weavile was? It was a male Weavile. That's right, a second male Weavile.
This is the Season Research Lab. Twist Mountain, just beyond Mistralton, has snow depending on the season. We research changes in nature that occur due to the seasons. Consider the Pokemon called Deerling, which lives in this forest. Its appearance is said to change according to the season.
This characteristic is of great interest to us. We want to research this Pokemon and observe its seasonal changes. That's why we developed a marvelous climate control system that transcends the seasons and allows us to freely adjust temperature and humidity. Up to this point, everything has been fine, but we are very busy and we haven't really had a chance to catch many deerling to study. So this is what we would like to ask you. First, please capture a deerling. Then, when its appearance changes, could you bring it back to the lab? Then, when we've confirmed the change to the deerling you bring us, we will also go search for that season's deerling. How about it? If you don't mind, would you please show us what deerling looks like now? I don't have one. Oh, I see. We would be really grateful if you could assist us with with our research, but if you're too busy... So, care to guess what my next alpha after male Weavile number 2 was? I will unlock the mechanism and find the secret of your power. My next alpha after male Weavile number 2 was male Weavile number 3. So, here I am, 6 alphas into the hunt for all of the alphas in the field lands. I'm at a 1 in 4 chance to get the one that I want. And twice in a row, I have hit a different one of the 1 in 4. The same different one of the 1 in 4. Which there is a 1 in 16 chance of that happening. So I hit a 1 in 16 before a 1 in 4. Thanks, game. But yeah, that's where I am now. Haven't gotten any more since. The mechanism of rain and the science of changing seasons. Nature is full of wonders. But as soon as I get that alpha female Sneasel, I will be done hunting distortions forever. Unless for some stupid reason I decide that I want to get shinies specifically from distortions. Oof. Stay safe out there, Burning Tepig. I have had other friends in Florida, and yeah, I know weather there can definitely mandate things like that. So yeah, stay safe. Thanks for dropping by. So this is a fungus, ain't it? Not that I'll find out yet, because a Carablast jumped me. Yep, that's a fungus. You'd really think that fungus shouldn't be so able to startle trainers or whatever, considering its size. But then again, I guess we did learn in Legends Arceus that Pokemon can change size at will. You shrink right on down. That's what makes them pocket monsters, is their ability to shrink. So perhaps when a fungus is down pretending to be a Pokeball, it has instead just shrunk down to Pokeball size. And that's how it's able to accomplish its whole mimic react. Water fun with Pokemon. Do you want to play with us? Not with my Darumaka, I don't. And honestly, that kind of also makes it make more... I thought we were doing water fun. That's an ice cream cone. But yeah, Voltorbs and Electrodes in Gen 1. Like, they are much too big to be mistaken for actual Pokeballs, especially the Electrodes. And yet we mistook them for Pokeballs back when. So perhaps the information has been there all along that Pokemon could shrink down at will. That Frillish right there, were it a male, would evolve into my favorite Pokemon in the entire Unova Dex. I love male Jellicent and its giant mustache. I had one on my team that I named Exuberance. Aquatic sports with Pokemon. Nothing is more fun than that. It's 100% impossible to live without Pokemon. I mean, to an extent, yes, that's true. I'm sure it would be impossible to live a life where Pokemon weren't around. But I don't think you necessarily need to have them be like a core component of your life or anything. This coming from a man who has at least one copy of, or at least one physical copy of every main series Pokemon game that has released in English, and many that have released in Japan as well. I have 8 Japanese Pokemon cartridges for Game Boy through Game Boy Advance. And within a week, once my order arrives, that's going to go to... Or sorry, I have 9 cartridge Pokemon copies, because I also have a Japanese Soul Silver. Need to remember that I have that. I will show you just how energetic I've become, just by being here. Put an extra just in there, I believe. But whatever. But yeah, I've ordered 4 more DS games, as well as Pokemon Emerald. So my count of Japanese Pokemon cartridges is going to increase by 5. Gonna go up to 14. That said, I'm at least going to be somewhat reasonable. I do not plan to get 100% of all Japanese Pokemon releases. I'm only going to get the ones that don't have language options baked into the cart. So like Pokemon X onward, or I guess X and Y onwards. Those I'm content with just having my English copies because I can play those in Japanese if I want. Whereas games prior to those are in the language they were printed in. So up through Black 2 and White 2, having separate Japanese copies will at least have some value for my collection. And we're getting an Emolga who's using nothing but Double Team again. Oh boy. Sure do love when my opponents go to +3 evasion. It's nice when I hit them twice in a row after they go to +3. Not so nice when I get paralyzed on the KO again. If I use this, will my Pokemon also become energetic? No, I don't think that's what a Cherry Berry does. When we are surrounded by green, we feel more energetic, don't you think? Thank you, Mother Nature. Chargestone Cave seems like a complicated maze, but actually, It's a straight road.
Oh dear, your Pokemon. Somehow they don't seem well. You should rest here for a little while. You can't go anywhere when you're not feeling well.
Why do you live in the middle of a forest? It's about the season to go to the Celestial Tower on Route 7. I have to ring the bell for my Petalil.
Mister, here, have this. Oh, why thank you.
Here on Route 6, there's a place called Mistralton Cave. Supposedly, deep in that cave, you can find an amazing Pokemon called Cobalion, who was said to have protected Pokemon from a sea of fire in ancient Unova. If you can use a move called Surf that lets you move over the water's surface, maybe you can see Cobalion. That Fire Punch took a while to come out. I was about to say thanks, Hustle. I was just making sure there were no items over there. Being accosted by so many deer. And yet, no double battles despite being in the doubles grass. Thanks, Hustle. My Darmok is in the red and my bird's almost at 50%. Who would have imagined upon first seeing Fungus that it would evolve into one of the best competitive Pokemon of all time? Or at least most useful. Thanks for waiting. Looks like the nest of an electric-type Pokemon called Galvantula. Don't know why there's a nest here, but if there are folks having problems, the gym leader's the one to fix it. So, interestingly, him calling this a nest is arguably a translation error. The reason why? Well, in Japanese, the word for a spider web literally translates to spider nest. Except nest, like the Japanese word for nest, like it's broader than the English word for nest. Like the English word for nest, like it's a place where an animal raises its young or has eggs or stuff like that. Spiderwebs aren't necessarily for that. So yeah, this is the web of an electric-type Pokemon called Galvantula. Krokorok, take it out! And this here TM's yours. It's my favorite TM, so you can teach it to all of your Pokemon. And what a good move Bulldoze is. It's called Bulldoze. This move does damage and lowers the speed of any Pokemon it hits. Some ground-type Pokemon move a little slower than you'd like. If you use Bulldoze right, you can cover that weakness. I don't know how good you really are, but if you think you can go, go wherever. And if you think you can do something, keep doing it. Do things how you want. Decide your own limits. All right, fingers crossed for Joltik. Come. Wow, you took me so far. My Lord N, we brought the one you wanted. Ah, yes. That was the Shadow Triad just now. Getsus enlisted them in Team Plasma. Apparently they were the ones who prepared the Galvantula nest at the cave entrance. Even though it's really more of a web than a nest, but we're just going to go ahead and use the word nest still. Chargestone Cave, I like this place. Formulas express electricity and its connection to Pokemon. If people did not exist, this would be an ideal place. You've been chosen, you know. Does it surprise you I said that? If you don't understand what that means, it's not likely to surprise you. I told Getsus about you and your friends. After I did, he apparently used the Shadow Triad to find out about you. Charon is pursuing the ideal of strength. Poor Bianca has faced the sad truth that not everyone can become stronger, and you are not swayed either way, more of a neutral presence, which is apparently a good thing. Team Plasma will be waiting for you ahead. Getsus wants to see what kind of Pokemon trainer you really are. Anyway, like I was saying, fingers crossed for Joltik. We've already got a Bulldor. This doesn't count. Species clause is still in effect. I don't get stuck with this thing. I swapped to Lilligant thinking, oh, she's lower level than my Duat and therefore needs more XP. But do I really want to be putting XP on her, knowing that my next gym is the flying gym? Probably not to my benefit to actually do so. You know what? There's, I believe, another Pokemon we can also find here that I wouldn't mind having, because I do rather like it. Though admittedly, it would force a specific current party member out of the party. that I probably don't want to do. And also, its official name pronunciation is entirely stupid. Hey! Hey there, Tyler.
Redmond, did you know this? The floating stones move when you touch them. Right, Professor? Hi there. How are you, Redmond? This place is always charged with lots of electricity that Pokémon like. The electric charges react from one stone to another, and that's why some of the stones are floating. But not all of the stones can be pushed. My father asked me to research Clink, which is a Pokémon that looks like a gear, because I'm researching the origins of Pokémon and the era they appeared. He knows how to get what he wants from people, but I was already interested in this anyway, so it's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Redmond, this is for you.
I do like a lucky egg.
Giving that lucky egg to a Pokémon to hold increases the amount of experience points received in battle by a lot. Having strong Pokémon will make it easier to fill your Pokédex pages.
Again, that's not what I'm here for. Tyler, I don't know what Pokemon Insurance is, but if it's a ROM hack, I'm probably not going to. I don't feel compelled to play ROM hacks when I've still got so much value to get out of non-ROM hacks. So yeah, I stick to the main series games as they were released, because they're what I enjoy. Because one of the biggest values to me in terms of Pokemon is the collection aspect. Yay, we found a Joltik! That was what I wanted. Yeah, the collection aspect and being able to take all the Pokemon that I find and bring them with me to future games. That's what I value in this franchise. Like, if I wanted to just play a JRPG, I've got a ton of other JRPGs I could be playing. But they don't have this generational continuity that I can take advantage of in Pokemon. I'm actually just going to throw balls at this thing. Got 101 of them. Surely one of them will catch. Specifically the first one. Don't know where I'm going to squeeze this Joltik onto the party, but I do want to. I like Galvantula quite a lot. Joltik, the attaching Pokemon. They attach themselves to large-bodied Pokemon and absorb static electricity, which they store in an electric pouch. Yeah, Tyler, I do like challenges in certain situations, but again, what I come to Pokemon for is, it's not the challenge, it's not the unique games necessarily, it's the generational continuity, the ability to transfer Pokemon from game A to game B, going forward many generations, being able to complete my Pokédex in Pokemon Home. Like, my current overarching goal right now that I'm currently working towards with this exact run is I'm trying to catch one of every form of every Pokemon from the game that it was introduced in and from any remake of the game that it was introduced in a Poké Ball. Specifically a Poké Ball, because that's the only ball type that you can catch everything in. So yeah, I am here because I need a second Thundurus in a Poké Ball. And therefore I'm replaying Pokémon White so that I can get that second Thundurus in a Poké Ball. And playing a ROM hack or a fan game doesn't let me continue my Dex collecting adventure. And like, the collection aspect is what I like out of Pokemon. So any game where anything I collect can't stay collected in future games just loses a lot of appeal for me.
This cave is full of rocks generating electricity. The electricity is charging me up.
Yeah, I got nothing against people who do like playing ROM hacks. I understand that the challenge can be exciting. It's just not for me. And like, honestly, when it comes to ROM hacks and stuff like that in general, like for any franchise, my general opinion is I've got so many games that I have purchased and not played. I'm not looking for new games to play that are just modified versions of old games. If I truly feel like I need to have more experiences, I'll go play a game that I've bought and haven't launched.
The sources of my energy are my precious Pokémon. This has been scientifically proven.
It's actually mildly annoying that this cave is so diverse in its types. Like, oh hey, nice hustle. We've got ground types in Drillbur. Sure, only in the shaking spots, but we've got them here. We've got rock types in Boldore. We've got electric bug in Joltik. I believe we're going to find some Clinks. And I believe the Pokemon that is officially pronounced Ferroseed, but that everyone knows should be pronounced Ferroseed, because it's Ferrous. Yeah, I believe that's also here for Grass Steel. Which means that there is no one type that we can use to have an advantage against everything here. Like, we need fire for Ferroseed. But then fire won't help us against Boldore, won't help us against Drillbur. Water is good against Boldore and Drillbur. But then Joltik's a threat to water. And I mean, sure, we could use grass against Boldore and Drillbur, but hey, Joltik's good against grass too. Fire's good against Joltik. But again, fire's not good against Boldore or Drillbur. So yeah. The types that are good against multiple Pokemon in here are weak against multiple Pokemon in here. Or at least one Pokemon in here. I guess fire is useful against more things than not. And let's... Right, no, we want to keep that experience share on Archon. At least for now, till it's in the 30s. Which I guess just means that I weakened its one flying type move for a bit. I will test you to see whether you have what it takes to aim for the Pokemon League. You're going to test me with a single Pokemon that has the Defeatist ability? I mean, yeah, that acrobatics is going to hurt, but... Why am I putting experience specifically on Duat? Probably just the whole thing. I get it in my head. Get it in my head that water starters are good against flying types because water starters so often get an ice move. My otter does not have an ice move. And in fact... Skyla's got a Swanna as her ace. My Duat has literally nothing it can do to hit a Swanna for neutral damage. I should not be putting my XP on Duat then. Who should be getting the XP? Duosion's not a bad choice. Pretty sure Duosion can learn at least one electric move, though. I don't know that I can teach it. Can it learn Volt Switch? That would be nice. Nope. I bet it can learn Thunder Wave, not that that matters right now. Yep, sure can. So technically it can learn at least one electric move. Though that electric move currently isn't one that helps against... or helps deal damage. They say that there's a strong champion in the Pokemon League. Someday I will be able to challenge the Pokemon League. Of course, Duosion here is weak to Joltix as well if they choose to Bug Bite. Hi there. Did you find something? I think we're just about done collecting data. This cave has been around since the distant past, but data to prove that Clink existed more than 100 years ago can't be found. So that must mean that they haven't fossilized or whatever.
Clink suddenly appeared 100 years ago.
Or maybe they were in a different form prior to 100 years ago.
Where Pokemon came from and where they're going? If we can learn that, I believe we can get along even better. Know what, Redmond? Pokemon are mysterious. I wonder why these amazing little guys stay by our sides.
Oh, you're done talking? Okay. And there's the bug bite. Didn't do too much. Oh, hey guys. Come. There are stairs going down ahead. Team Plasma is waiting for you there. Hey look, it's a Clink. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest to learn that there was a past version of Clink made of wood. Because we had wooden gears long before we had metal gears. Heck, we had stone gears long before we had metal gears. So acting like, oh, Clink just didn't exist until 100 years ago. Maybe not in this form. But it wouldn't surprise me if Clink existed in a past form as wooden or metal gears. Or not metal, wooden or stone gears. It would only make sense. I think it is time to use a potion or two. Let's not do 3, though. I'm pretty sure we'll find a doctor before too long. Also, I want to go back because there was a hiker up here that I can certainly encounter. I'm a hiker exploring caves. I'll teach you the harshness of life and the difficulty of Pokemon battles. Gonna be annoying getting through this sturdy. Or I guess it being sturdy meant nothing. I'm running out of Psyshocks. It occurs to me we've only done one hidden power test. Still need to find out what it is. It's super effective against fighting. So it's either psychic or flying, right? Just doing a quick confirmation. Yeah, it's either psychic or flying. Guaranteed. If it's psychic, then that means that this Duosion can only use psychic right now. Psychic moves. In the caves, Pokemon lurk in the piles of dirt. Hey, look, it's a Ferroseed. Again, stupid official pronunciation. It is a Ferrous seed. A Ferroseed. Well, this will tell us whether it's psychic or fighting. Or, not fighting, flying. It's psychic. So, this here Duosion has a psychic type hidden power. Well, having a psychic type hidden power, I guess, means we don't have to worry so much about when Psyshock runs out. Should have used Psyshock from the start. Psyshock's stronger. Thanks, Hustle. Why is a wild Joltik holding a sticky barb? Perhaps implying that it tried to feed on a Ferroseed?
I love this place. The electricity charges up my inspiration. When a person moves, electric signals travel in the body. Also, when a person has an inspiration, electric signals travel to the brain. I pushed the wrong floaty rock. You know, if I pushed the wrong floaty rock earlier, I should go back and push the correct floaty rock. Problem is dealing with this encounter rate on the way back. Like, I do have repels. I could use them. But it always feels wrong to use repels, considering every encounter you deny yourself could be a shiny. Though for being real, as far as shinies in here would go, I guess actually only Joltix wouldn't be useful to me. I don't have shinies of anything else for my collection. But I do have Joltik and Galvantula shiny. Well, I've never had a shaking spot spawn directly under me like that before.
Those guys aren't doctors. But this guy is. If you like, I'll make your Pokemon healthy. However, let me challenge you to a battle first. Oh, thank you for sending out something quad weak to fire. Now, as I promised, I will make your Pokemon healthy. To make people healthy, doctors go where they are needed. What about to make Pokemon healthy? Because you're a doctor and you're here to make Pokemon healthy. I actually wouldn't mind one bit finding a shiny Boldor. They look great. Oh, are these two not a double battle? Or are they a double battle that only happens if you speak to them? Hi, we're the Nugget Brothers. I am the big brother. And I'm the little brother of the Nugget Brothers. Glad you showed up. I want you to have this. Or I want to give you this. I want to give you this too. Thanks, Nugget Brothers. Nugget about it. That's a nugget. How'd it get so golden without deep frying? Trade secret. So it's well known at this point that in the Pokemon franchise, nuggets are something of a euphemism in that they are golden balls, and the Japanese, I guess you could call it slang for certain parts of male anatomy are golden balls. And one of the first people who gives you a nugget in the original Pokemon games is like, how would you like to get your hands on a man's golden ball? Here you go. So yeah, just the whole time it's been a bit of a joke. They've been having a laugh. And here we just had two guys give us a pair of golden balls at once. Just because. Okay, so that takes us back somewhere we've already been. Ow. Okay, yeah, that being a crit checks out. I need to stop finding all these steel types. My Duosion can't touch them. At least not in any significant manner. Enough with the steel types game. I believe I said enough with the steel types game. Not please give me yet another steel type. I said enough with the steel types. So the fact that Krokorok is under the ground, unable to be hit by attacks from the Clink, and yet it's still hurt by Bind, which implies that the Clink is, you know, meshing around it. How does that work? Enough with the Steel types game. Great, now it's going to take even longer to get rid of this thing. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we just run from this Ferroseed. I don't usually run from things, but when they have used Iron Defense twice, and I am unable to use the thing that does quadruple damage against it. Yeah, maybe sometimes it's worth running. Oh, hey, look, it's the Team Plasma Grunts that we were told would be here. Oh, hey, a ball I won't use. I can't help but imagine Duosion will not be the correct choice for the Team Plasma Grunts. There's a very real chance that they will have a bunch of Dark types, which my Duosion is utterly incapable of touching with its current moveset. You came here because somebody manipulated you. If you can win against me, I will tell you the secret. Yep, that's a Pokemon that Duosion can't touch. Just actually unable to deal damage to that thing without struggle. And I I don't think we're going to survive long enough to reach struggle if we leave Duosion in. Hey look, another Pokemon that Duosion would be unable to touch. Nice Confuse. Very nice Confuse. So we speed tie with this Watchog. Getsis of the Seven Sages supports our king, and Getsis has 3 subordinates. They are the Shadow Triad. If I win against you, release your Pokemon. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Especially not when you only have 1 Pokemon of your own. And sure, my Duosion can't touch it, but it's just 1 Pokemon. Nice job attacking through confusion on the first turn. I don't understand. Your Pokemon seem to be happy next to you. That's how it is for most people in their Pokemon, I would imagine. Pokemon living in this Chargestone Cave are so beautiful because they are free from people. They're really making us run the Team Plasma Gauntlet. Most Pokemon games don't put this many mandatory trainers in a row. Well, here's something Duosion's good against. Hidden Power ought to be enough. Now here's a Pokemon Duosion can't touch. A second Hone Claws, interesting. Not gonna lie, I didn't expect Liepard to survive that. In my mind, Liepard is made of paper, but I guess it's maybe cardstock. Also, that crit certainly didn't help us. I don't think we really need Dragon Breath, but then again... better than Quick Guard in the vast majority of trainer battles.
It's bad for ordinary trainers like you to use Pokémon. It's good for us members of Team Plasma to use Pokémon.
Is it now? There is an argument to be made for doing bad things towards a good end. But if you can achieve that end without doing bad things, it is better. Thankfully, we got this doctor right here just before the big plasma gauntlet. Eventually we'll get back to the part of the plasma gauntlet we're actually supposed to be at. Eventually. Preferably before we lose too much of the health that I went back to the doctor to get recovered.
You are the trainer that my Lord N is worried about.
Hooray, Duosion gets to do a thing again. No, I don't think Ping Split would be that helpful, actually. Let's actually use Recover before we do another Psyshock. Oof. Perhaps we'll recover twice before a Psyshock. Though that does risk getting poisoned by a sludge. Your stockpile meant nothing. Oh, would you look at that? Duosion gets to be useful against the whole team. My Lord N grew up with Pokemon. He thinks about Pokemon more than anybody else. As a proud member of Team Plasma, I will gladly battle with you. Nice one shot. Love to see it. But can't touch a Sandile. Of course, I hit myself. And now my accuracy is lower for when I do manage to attack through the confusion, so I'll just plain miss. Or I'll hit myself again. That's also an option. Alright, Duat, this is your last shot. Okay, one more try. There you go. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It is rude to use healing items in a trainer battle if your opponent hasn't used them first. What do you fight for? No, what do you live for?
Oh no, my ability.
Pretty sure Duosion's ability means absolutely nothing in here. Isn't it like Overcoat makes it immune to damage from hail and sandstorm? Oh, no. Well, yes, it's kind of that. Magic Guard, only damage from attacks. So actually it is slightly better in here. Slightly.
The hope of Team Plasma. Well, it has nothing to do with you.
So those stairs to our left will take us down to the bottom floor here, which is entirely optional. But is the only place in the game where you can find Tynamo. And I know it is still part of Chargestone Cave. But as it's the only place in the game where you can find Tynamo, I propose a deal. I'm going to go down there. And if the very first Pokemon I find down there is a Tynamo, I'll catch it and be happy. If it is not, well, then we just don't get a Tynamo. Don't think I would end up using it anyway. But it would be neat if I did get it. I need to check something. Because my AC should not be getting picked up on the mic, and yet it is. Because, yep, my noise removal thing has once again turned itself down. But now my AC will not be heard on the mic. At least not when I'm not talking. Oh, right. We've been tormented. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know what it is, but the noise removal keeps turning itself down. Not every time I launch this PC, but a good number of times. Like, more often than not, it turns itself down, and it's weird.
The hope of Team Plasma. We know our king will lead us. He will free the Pokemon. You, release your Pokemon and stop being a trainer.
Never. Alright, so if the first Pokemon I find down here is a Tynamo, I will capture it and bring it home. If not, just no Tynamos for me. Also. I'm not going to be going back to the doctor, so let's go ahead and just use that.
I'm really serious about training. I even visit this electrified cave to train myself and my Pokémon.
Maybe I should have stayed in with Duosion. But then again, if Drillbur had decided to attack, it would have done some pretty significant damage. And basically mandated a heal. That it's still going to mandate here, but in a different way. Or Bird. Now, this bird is holding an experience share, so acrobatics will only do the 55 base. That's only 5 points weaker than pluck, right? I don't believe I wish to leave Bird in front of Zebra. And this should be goodbye, Zebra.
Some Pokémon like to live in this electrified cave. Don't you think that people should stay out?
Says someone who was deeper in it than I was until just moments ago. And no Tynamos for me.
Even at an electrified place like this, if somebody challenges me, I will take that challenge. That is an ace trainer.
I believe me, that's what it means to be an ace trainer. Look at her having a Pokemon Black version exclusive. Was kind of hoping for a one-shot, but getting it down to red is totally fine. As long as it's using Aqua Ring instead of, like, Water Pulse or something. It had the opportunity to deal major damage to my Croc, but it chose not to. Alright, we do not leave Croc Rock in front of a Lilligant. They evolved this Lilligant too early, so it only knows Mega Drain instead of Giga Drain. Why do I have such terrible confusion luck in this game? Chances are if I leave Darumaka in, it's going to get taken out. And just think, if this bird wasn't holding the XP share, it would have gotten the one-shot. And now Defeatist is active. And we hit ourselves in confusion. Because we couldn't possibly just get a nice win there. No, we had to hit ourselves 2 out of 2 times in confusion. And here comes another teeter dance, I'm sure. There it is. Don't you dare hit yourself, Duosion. 3 out of 3. Why is my confusion luck so bad?
Bits of knowledge about electricity. An electric current runs from plus to minus, and an electron runs from minus to plus.
Not exactly. An electron is a minus, so it runs to a plus. They really didn't want people finding Tynamo. Which is kind of funny because when you do find it, it is terrible until you get it evolved. And even then it takes a bit to get good. Thanks, Hustle. Rare candy's not bad. I don't think I'm going to end up using it. I have a tendency to never use my rare candies. Stems from my desire to save them for the last few levels of super long evolutions. But, like, I don't know that this run's gonna get anything that even applies for that. I mean, sure, I might find a dino in Victory Road. But if I do, there's no way in hell I'm getting a Hydreigon by the time I face the Elite Four. Even with rare candies. It's just not going to happen. Gotta say, Bright Powder isn't the item that I expected to find back here. Oh, a Tynamo. Sorry, Tynamo, you weren't the first thing that showed up on this floor, so you just get to go away. Wow, really? You outspeed me and used Thunder Wave? Rude. Why use Thunder Wave when you already outspeed me? The answer is because you're a wild Pokemon, and wild Pokemon choose their moves randomly. But still... Six more levels and Duocean gets to evolve. I'm just going to run from this Ferroseed. Ferroseeds are more trouble than they're worth. So what happens? I swap to Darumaka, give it a Fire Punch, take some damage during the swap, take some damage from Iron Barbs, and then, oh boy, I've got one Ferroseed's worth of XP. It's not exactly amazing. Costs a lot of time and HP. I mean, at least with Clink, there's no Iron Barbs to worry about. Admittedly, I think, if memory serves, Clinks are special attack EVs. So they're probably not so good for Darumaka. But, still XP. Not like EVs matter too much in a standard playthrough. Though interestingly, I'm now reminded of something from my childhood playing Pokemon Red back in the day. I think one of the NPCs or something said that, you know, Pokemon raised by trainers grow stronger than wild Pokemon. And I took that to mean that, you know, every level they got when they were your Pokemon was worth more than levels that they had as wild Pokemon. So I always tried to catch wild Pokemon at the lowest level I possibly could because, oh, that makes them stronger. And then I'd level them up with rare candies, which completely defeats the purpose. But when Missing No existed, getting those rare candies wasn't hard. Okay, trainer, you use Pokemon. Show me your strength. Watch this Sandile use Swagger and then Duot never land a hit again. Oh, hey, didn't hit himself. How unusual. Okay, nice miss on the hypnosis. Now don't hit yourself. Excellent. So that swagger was purely beneficial. So Aqua Jet would get us some priority on this team. Damage is a bit of a drop from Razor Shell, but accuracy goes up. I think I'm going to do it. Because they use Pokemon, people hold competitions to sort out the strong from the weak. Is this fair? Is this right? Are Pokemon just the trainer's tools? It's kind of interesting how only the grunts in Team Plasma ask the hard-hitting questions like that, whereas all the higher-ups in Team Plasma don't really bother saying things like that, and when they do, they pretty much immediately contradict him with like, haha, we're taking all the Pokemon so that we'll be the only ones with Pokemon. It's fascinating. Like, some of the Team Plasma grunts are actually true believers in the cause. And yet nobody they're working for actually believes in it. I want to solve all the mysteries in the world. For that purpose, I will keep fighting. Keep fighting with just a single clink, huh? I feel like there's a lot of mysteries that can't be solved with just a single clink. I don't think I can solve all the mysteries by myself. However, if I can discover something new and help someone, I will be satisfied.
I believe going left here actually takes us to somewhere we've already been. And if I go to another load zone after going there, it's a one-way trip. Because we have to push a magnet rock that can only be pushed from this side, and that will get reset if we go through a load zone.
Take this, the winning strategy I've developed.
My aunt once had a dog named Corky. So seeing a person named Corky just feels weird. Alright, Tortuga is not a good matchup for Darumaka. Lilligant, on the other hand.
I feel down only briefly. I'm a trainer. If I give up, my Pokemon cannot do anything, right? See, the magnet is what I would have expected to find at the very back of the very bottom floor. But no, we found it up here.
Many different values mixed together and the world becomes gray. That is unforgivable. I will separate Pokemon and people, and black and white will be clearly distinct. Only then will Pokemon become perfect beings. Yes, that is my dream. That is the dream I must fulfill. Redmond, do you have a dream of your own?
Yeah.
You have a dream. That's wonderful. I'll learn just what kind of dream you have in battle.
Our dreams kind of run counter because I want to collect at least one of every form of every Pokemon. And you want people to not have Pokemon? Those are just incompatible dreams. Well, that Boldor wasted its only turn of life.
Do you believe that Pokemon battles help us understand one another?
Not really. Just teaches us about each other's battle styles, really. Like yours is to use Iron Defense when sitting in front of a special attacker. And after this Joltik, we should see a Clink and a Ferroseed, I believe. Unless N visited the bottom floor and wants to whip out a Dynamo. I suppose he could also have a Drillbur. But there's Ferroseed. That good old waste of time and HP. And there's a Clink.
I'll show you that my love for my friends permeates every cell of my body. Behold!
If you loved him that much, you would have forfeited instead of sending out your Steel type in front of a Fire Monkey.
My friend's getting hurt. That's what a Pokemon battle is. Why? Is it impossible for me to win while feeling bad about being a trainer? As if I could pursue the truth with something as meaningless as a battle. As if that could make me worthy to become friends with the legendary Pokemon. Redmond! Just a little further to Mistralton City. Bianca, you have good ears. I can't believe you heard Redmond's voice from that far away. Redmond, who is this trainer?
He's N. He claims to be the king of Team Plasma, and he thinks that people and Pokemon should be separate forever.
Professor Juniper, what are you thinking? You appear to have no qualms about the relationship between Pokemon and people. You put Pokemon into categories using arbitrary rules and think you can understand them like that.
What's so arbitrary about categorizing Pokemon by types? I mean, those types are pretty rigid and well-studied.
The very idea of a Pokédex revolts me. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh my, looks like you're not my biggest fan. Your opinion is understandable. It happens to be different from mine, which is equally understandable. How about if all people get to decide for themselves how to relate to Pokemon? You're saying I should just allow people to think whatever they want and treat Pokemon however they want, no matter whether the Pokemon suffer? I refuse to tolerate the existence of a world like that.
You could just have there be laws to prevent Pokemon cruelty, like make it so that people can't legally make them suffer. But as long as they don't make them suffer, let them be.
Well, I didn't expect him to change his mind right away. But I hope he'll spend a little time trying to understand how others feel. Now then, I think I'll go collect a little more data. For Pokemon and people to get along better, we need to take steps to learn more about them. Redmond, I'm gonna go with Professor Juniper now, because I'm her bodyguard.
Well, have fun with that. My Darumaka is really beat up. I'm just gonna run. This Duosion now has only one more hidden power to its name. Kinda hoping we don't get any more encounters before I'm out of the cave. Also, I've just remembered I wanted to take the experience share off of Archon. Or Arkin. Hey there, welcome back, Burning Tepig. Unfortunately, this stream doesn't have much left in it, but hey, it's good to see you back. So let's take that experience share away. I guess we'll give it to Lilligant. I mean, we could just not give it to anybody and get full XP on the Pokemon in front, but it always feels like such a waste to have one Pokemon get left behind XP-wise. Yep, there's our Pokemon Center, which is exactly what I wanted to reach before I called this a stream. I've been spending the last half hour plus actually struggling to keep my eyes open. I didn't sleep well last night. I need a nap. So, this is going to be it for this stream. Thanks, folks, for dropping by to watch and chat and all that. And I will be back on Tuesday for more Pokemon White. See you then, friends.